All right, you guys, welcome to our Team Bloom call. It is February 18th, 2020, and we have a guest speaker tonight. It's going to be Heidi, and she is going to, I think this is going to be a really good call. I'm not going to say the name of it. I'm going to let her say it and say all the things. I don't think we have any announcements this week. Team Cup is obviously still going on. Hopefully everyone's just crushing it. Let's just dive into this so that those who are watching the recording are able to just catch up on it. And then also, if you're new to our team, welcome to our team. We meet here every single Tuesday night. And we just take the opportunity to learn from one another. There's always a topic. So take this information, use it for your business, and rock it. All right, Heidi, go ahead.
Okay. So I wanted to start out before I actually start talking and do something that I learned from one of my personal development books. I really don't remember which one it was. It was a while back that I read it. But it's about releasing tension and then setting intention. And in the book, he talked about, every single transition in your day, I don't want to make this take a long time, but most of us are moms, or we work, or we do 100 things. So every time you transition, even in coaching, like when you transition from an email to a message to an invite, like that, your brain does this thing, and you have to refocus, set the intention for what you're doing. And most of us have a ton of hats that we wear. And so tonight I was I feel like every Tuesday is extra crazy. And I know that I show up on a lot of these calls. I'm all right, let's get this over with because I'm tired and the kids are crazy and all that. So I thought, let's just start, and then maybe this can just set the tone and help you every other day also. So in the book, I think he just says release or something, but he takes like 3 or 4 minutes and just closes his eyes and breathes deep. We don't have to do that for this long, but oh, good job, Naomi. But just say release, 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 and just let everything go that's been happening. If you're mad, if you're crazy, just let it all go. Whoever was jumping on you a second ago or whatever, just release, release, release. And then you want to focus and set your intention. So for tonight, set your intention for this call. I lost my train of thought. Set your intention. I'm my screen went black, and then I have to do the Face ID, and then it's all gone now. And so we're putting our coach hat on. We're taking our mama hats off, unless your kid is climbing on your lap. Just, you're going to get as much out of this as you allow yourself to get out of it. And a lot of it is very basic. I feel like every week it usually is, but it's always a very good reminder and something that you can always implement. And so put your coach hat on, put your teachable coach hat on. This is one that I have trouble with sometimes because I want to be right about everything. And okay, we're going to jump into it. So I actually made a PowerPoint. And I know how to do this. Oh, I always forget to click share. And then I'm going to move this over here. So if you have paper, please get it out. Does that work? Do you guys see the pictures wherever you want to see them? Okay, whatever. Oh, wait, I can't have it on that side. Okay. So this whole thing, this has been on my heart this whole week. And I knew God always puts something on my heart to share. And I was kind of waiting for it to come. And then this is kind of what I got. Are you being the coach that you want to see in your downline? And of course, it's always convicting and makes it an extra hard week for me to think am I being that kind of coach for Sue and her downline? And obviously no one's perfect. Obviously there's going to be things that we all need to keep working on. So this is not attacking anybody. And if anything, it was probably laid on my heart because I need to put a deeper focus on this for myself. So there, I said that. So if you have a piece of paper, or if you have your phone, if you're on your computer and you want to write it in your notes, I have just a couple different little writing prompts or just think about it if you don't have paper. But I want you to just write down, what is your ideal downline coach? And maybe you've never thought about it. Maybe you have a lot of coaches already. So you can think, what are things either that you want to see in them, or maybe it's good things that you already see in them that make you really excited or make you proud of them. You can read the screen. Maybe it's like a personality type, or just how hard they're working, or their rank, or their paychecks. It does, like, the sky's the limit. I'll give you just a couple minutes to think through that. You could give me a thumbs up if you're done or about done. No rush if you're not. But it doesn't have to be like super in depth. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and move on because I can't see the other two girls' faces. There's just one more. How do you want your coaches to act, participate, and lead in your challenge groups or in their challenge groups? So kind of the other side of coaching, not just working and signing people up, but how are they actually being a coach? And if you already wrote that in the first one, it can be all general. Are we good? Not quite? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and move on. So you can just kind of keep that to the side and keep that in the back of your mind. Oh wait, no, never mind. That was one slide ahead. So I want you to go through the list and circle each of those items if it applies. Like some of this, like depending on what you wrote, might not really apply, but like each of those items that you did today. And if that makes sense, like hopefully that applies to some of your stuff. And then put a star by each that you did at least 5 days last week. And if that doesn't make sense at all, then say so. Because I just realized some of the stuff you wrote down won't be like personality and stuff, but work ethic and consistently inviting and that kind of stuff definitely would. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and keep going. So now the truth of the matter. And if this if this was convicting, like maybe it's a good surprise for you. Like maybe you are doing exactly what you want to be. I know, but even so, maybe there's just like one or two things, then focus on those things. But I'm obviously going to cover kind of a little bit of everything to hit like each of these areas. So, um, think about, are you, like I just said in the beginning, am I being that coach for Sue or for whoever your upline is? Are you doing that? Like if you're expecting or hoping or dreaming or imagining your downline coaches to be like that, are you being that coach for your upline coach? So I'm just going to kind of break it down. For the challenge groups, if you're not leading your own group, then you still need to be showing up in somebody else's group. And like, if you don't have any challenge group to be in, then you can message me, you can message Sue, and we'll put you in one. But all that means is liking and commenting. It's just like when you're on Facebook, or I don't know, are your groups on Facebook? All mine are in the app now, so it's all different. But showing up in there and being a leader in there just means commenting on people's posts, making a post of your own. Don't forget to log your workout or your shake. I know I still forget to log my shake all the time, and I'm like, Heidi, like, I expect everyone else to do it. So set an alarm, write it on your calendar, make some kind of reminder. And the same with the commenting is like, engage your heart out with these ladies. Even if none of them are your challengers, even if you have no challengers, someday you will. And you're going to be a really good coach because you're going to be so encouraging. And it's just going to be part of your daily routine and a habit to do that. Actually show up and do your workout and get your own results and finish programs. It's so simple. But yeah, like sometimes we think, especially if you're not leading your own, maybe it can feel like, well, no one notices or no one cares. But ultimately, those things are like a huge foundation of being a good coach, like because this whole company is about getting results and feeling happy and feeling good and being healthy, and also sticking with those commitments, And so if you can't make those commitments to yourself just to finish a program or something like that, that's not going to be good leadership and good example. And then being reliable, like this is so simple, I know, but do what you say you're going to do. Be the person that your coach knows she can count on. Don't be the person that's always late, like always. No offense if you just got on the call, it's okay. But if you say you're going to help with something, or you say, you're going to lead the call, or like make a post for the challenge group or something like that, do it. And, just don't be late. Like it's still a job. And I know I've had to go up and down with this too, especially like even with these team calls, like back in the fall, I was like, oh, well, I don't really need to show up. Like other people will show up and I can listen to the recording or something like that. But I've had to learn, for one, to lean into this team more, and two, that like it is our job and it is our business to show up as much as we can. And sometimes I know there's time conflicts and stuff like that. But if you're just like at home doing nothing and choosing to not be on the call, it's very different. So yeah, I'm a huge person of sticking with what you say you're going to do and keeping your word and keeping those commitments, even if it's just for you and out of respect for whoever the leader is in that case. If you committed to doing something to help them out and then you're not there and she's wondering what's going on, like that's not good. And then if you really can't, like if something happens and you can't show up last minute, like you would call, not that any of us are your boss, but you would call your boss if it was work and you were going to be late or you were going to miss something. You wouldn't just be a no-show. Like I know restaurant business, we used to do that, like the no call, no show, and no one to know what happened to them. Don't do that. And then if you do forget, own it. Don't hide. Don't think that no one's going to notice, because people notice. Okay. And if any of this, if I start sounding mean, I promise I'm not mean. Like I got so passionate when I was writing this because I don't know why. I was just like, And it made me like majorly self-check myself this week because I'm like, am I doing this? Okay. What areas need improving? If you aren't setting the example as the leader and CEO of your own business, then how can you expect your downline to follow? And like, again, we're not perfect. Like, I'm not even saying that you have to be that. But for the most part, like, we need to step up our game if we want our downline to step up, right? So I want you to go back to your list and I don't know if you've just hopped on, you can just catch this in a minute, but we were talking about kind of these attributes and things that you would look for in your downline. Like, what would be your ideal downline coach? So that's the list that we made in the beginning. So you can still kind of follow along with that. And then ask yourself a couple of these things. Were you shocked or bothered by what you're not seeing in your own business and leadership as a coach? And be really honest with yourself, because it's okay. Like, if all of these were like, oh crap, like, that's good that you're recognizing it. And then it's just time to make a change. Do you have the belief that you can make the change to get better at whichever items that you feel like you're lacking at, or become more consistent? I struggle with belief a lot still. Okay, last one. Is this a mindset issue or a lack of knowledge or training issue that you can learn more about from the team or from YouTube or Google or something like that? So if you need any of those repeated, I can repeat, and I'll give you just a minute to, I don't know if you want to write those down or think through it. I guess that would have been smarter to have maybe those questions on this slide. So were you shocked or bothered by what you're not seeing in your own business? Do you have the belief that you can make the change to get better at it, improve? And then what kind of an issue is it? Is it something that you're just blocking in your mind? Is it a mindset issue? Or is that something that you actually need to learn? Like, for me, it's still the technology. And like, I say that, but I honestly still haven't really tried to do the technology stuff or IGTV, which makes me very scared. That would be my two things right now. So, okay. So what do we do now? And I thought this was so perfect. I know that, Sue, I think you touched on this last week. And even all of this kind of incorporates from like our value talk that we talked about last week. It was just on my heart so much. But our company's motto, or one of their mottos, I don't know, is decide, commit, succeed, right? I'm like, I know that, but maybe I should look it up. And I was just thinking about this, and like, this is exactly like the steps that we need to go through to get better as coaches. And like, it's obviously for our customers as well, but yeah, so decide. I wrote a couple of really good like little quotes that I pulled out of my personal development this past week. So often we pretend we've made a decision when what we've really done is signed up to try until it gets too uncomfortable. And I just, all last fall, I was just like kind of dabbling in this. Like, I'm 2 years into coaching now. And like the end of my second year, I'm like, I don't know, this feels really hard. Maybe I should quit. Maybe this isn't really what I'm supposed to do. Like, is this going to ruin my marriage, or is it going to be better in the end? Because we had a lot of tension there for a while. What else? Like, do I even know what I'm doing? Like, I know even still sometimes I'm like, am I doing this right? Do I know how to do this job? And then all of a sudden I would sign somebody up and be like, oh yeah, like, it's working. I know what I'm doing. I'm back in. I don't want to quit. Like, I love all these girls. So I just had to be like, Heidi, what do you want? Like, make the freaking decision and stop dabbling in it. And even as I say that, like, I've still struggled with it this new year already. But deep down, I know, like, I did make that decision. And even if I fall away, like, necessarily from the goals that I've set with my work and stuff, stop going back and forth. I'm like literally saying this to myself. I have decided and I know what I want. And that's part of it too, is like, what do you want? Like, maybe you don't want to run and make this a huge full-time business, and maybe you just love it as a hobby and it's so fun, like you can figure all of those things out too, but make that decision and stick with it and be totally proud of it and good. Okay, and then the second one, are you in or out? When you make a no-nonsense decision, you sign up fully and keep moving towards your goal regardless of what's flung in your path. And stuff will definitely get flung, which is why the decision is so crucial. So I just love that, because it's like, duh, like stuff's going to happen. It's going to be hard. Like, it makes so much sense. Okay, so then we move on to commit, and we're going to make the commitment. So we've made our decision, and now we're going to commit, like go all in, whatever your goals are. And however long it takes, do it. Do it anyways, because you want to be free. You have to put in the time. And so like commitment, I feel like so many people do struggle with commitment. And like, all you have to do, just do it. Like, stop overthinking it. Stop worrying. Like, stop listening to your fears. Stop complaining. I do it too, I know. But just start and show up and do what you said you're going to do. I put down, make it a game to be the best downline coach you can be for your upline. Like, just do it for them for a while until you really feel like you're doing it for yourself. It's maybe not a good motive, but it's going to get you farther than doing nothing. And then be consistent. Like, we say this all the time, but if anything's been true for me in the last 2 years of not knowing what I'm doing, and so much like mental growth and transformation in that way, even if I still went up and down like this, like I still didn't stop. Just don't stop. So consistency, like track your numbers. I used to not do that either. And it definitely is going to show you how much you or how little you are working. Track your numbers, stay organized, and just do the work even when you don't feel like it. So one other thing that I started doing, if I know I have a really busy day or like an important doctor's appointment or something like that, I'll do a little bit of extra work the night before, like a couple days before, and I'll still log it like for that day that I'm going to miss. Just staying on top of things like that is so important. Okay. Oh, did I read this one? Until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back, always ineffectiveness. The moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. I really loved that about ineffectiveness, because that's so true. And I like saw it in myself when I was just like, what am I doing? Do I want to do this or do I not? And like, it was definitely slower months because nobody knew what I was doing. If I don't know, they're not going to know, So I like that. And then finally, we're going to succeed. When you up level your idea of what's possible and decide to really go for it, you open yourself up to the means to accomplish it as well. So you might not know how you're going to get there. You might be totally scared and freaked out and don't know how you're going to squeeze in 2 hours of work a day or whatever. But if you make the decision, like, you will figure it out. And I think I'm definitely learning that also this past month. I feel like, yeah, it's good. Okay. But even also have grace with yourself, because even slow progress is progress. And even if you don't hit, I don't want to discourage like pushing for those goals, but I know how many times I've beaten myself up for not hitting what I said I wanted to hit, and that kind of thing. You still have to look back and celebrate even the tiniest of progress, because it's still progress. It's still moving forward. It's still growth, and it's still going to get you there. And if you remember on decide, or was it commit, that was like, no matter how long it takes, like keep going and just do it no matter how long it takes. So I hope it doesn't take me 10 years to get to diamond. But if it does, I'll still be here. I'm just kidding. But for real. So the other thought that I thought of was like, we're so hard on ourselves, but what do we tell our challengers, like with their weight loss and stuff, you know? We're like, you're still doing it. Like, yeah, you might not see the weight coming off, but your pants fit better, you have more energy, or you have the extra hour. We know all those things. And I'm sure that all of you have said those to somebody, even if it's not your challenger. You know those things. So remind yourself that too. Keep going, because you're going to succeed and you're going to hit your goals. And yeah, I guess I pretty much finished that. So make the shift. There's a big difference between walking around saying you want to make $1 million a year and having crystal clear intentions, fierce desire, and hell-bent action towards specific goals. I really like that one too. I didn't write this down, but in the High Performance Habits, he talks a lot about clarity. That was maybe the first of the habits that he talks about. Clarity, I don't know, never mind. But clarity and urgency are very important. And I think for me, what I had to learn the most was for the clarity, because for so long I'm like, oh yeah, I want to be diamond, but I was never like, no, I'm going to be diamond. You know, I just kind of was like, I'll see what happens. And not nothing's going to happen, but it's not going to be like that huge success that you're hoping for if you don't have a clear intention of what you're going to do. So moving forward, just keep going. Know that you are not alone. We all have crap happening on the daily. We also all have the same 24 hours in the day. Just choose how to spend it and own your decision. Love you. And that's all.
Oh my gosh, so good. Heidi, that was awesome. Y'all, I hope you pay attention to that. That was good. Here's the thing. Like, it's not really if you feel conviction when you read those things. It's like we all should. There's no coach out there who is like perfect on everything. You're not nailing everything. You're just not. So hopefully everybody, when we're listening to Heidi, like go through that list, especially at the beginning. Hopefully you have at least 2 things that you personally are going to work on. Like if you didn't, then you need to go back and listen to this call and do it all again. Because there's obviously, of course, you guys know this. Heidi, that was so good. Okay, so there's a few things that I wanted to like really emphasize. Like, and if you're a newer coach or you're, a coach that's more like a hobby coach, obviously a lot of this stuff isn't going to apply to you. Like as far as like, commit to working your business. Like if you're a hobby coach, you can make money in this business and not be all in like she's talking about. But if you are saying that you want to build this business or go diamond or have it be a substantial income, then everything that she said applies to you. Your coaches are only going to do what they see you doing. So have you tracked 7 days a week in the tracker? People who are on my group, I know if you have or not. I see everything. And that includes myself. I missed a day this week and I was like, I have no room to talk because I missed a day. You know what I mean? Like if I miss a day, my coaches start missing days. If I'm consistent, my coaches are consistent. If I hit Success Club, my coaches hit Success Club. Like if I'm rank advancing, they're rank advancing. Like whatever you do, your coaches are going to do. So ask yourself, when was the last time that you signed up a coach? If you can't think of that, then your coaches will not be signing up coaches either. Like that's just the way it is. Like energy creates energy, movement creates movement. It's just the way it is. It's like subconscious things that are just deep within us. The other thing is ask yourself, I heard Danielle Natoni say this, but think back to what you did today. If your coaches and the people on your team in your downline did exactly what you did today, would they be successful? Like exactly what you did. And if the answer is no, then you need to go put in more work. But if the answer is yes, then you did your job, right? Like that's always the question that I ask myself. I'm like, okay, if they did what I did today, would they be successful? And if not, then I'm not showing up. Like I'm literally what Heidi's saying, like you're not being the coach that you want your coaches to be. And it really does all start with you. And like she was saying too about how life's going to hit you hard, it's just gonna. But the other thing is that it's just like raising kids. Like a lot of us have kids, right? that's exhausting. It's really hard to get up at night with them. It's so hard to be pregnant. It's so hard to push them out. Like, it's just all very hard. It's hard when they have hormones. It's hard when they want candy. All of it's hard. But we don't ever just say, never mind. Like, I guess this isn't for me, right? No, we still do the dang things because we have the vision of we're all in. Like she said, we're committed. There's no turning back. And we have the bigger picture, which is like our love for them in mind, right? Like, we have to remind ourselves of that sometimes. And so it's the same for this business. Like, you have to know why you're here, why you're still showing up, why you come on team calls on Tuesday nights when your family's in the other room and it's really inconvenient and it's a lot of work to get out your computer and put on Zoom. Like, all of that's really hard. But if you have the bigger picture for why you're doing it, like, if you don't come on these team calls, you cannot expect your coaches to engage with the team either. It's so important, you guys. Like, I actually am going to go listen to this call again. Heidi, this is a big compliment to you. I listen to trainings when I do my workout now because I'm doing bar blend and I cannot handle her voice. So I've been getting so many trainings in. Tomorrow, I normally listen to only Josh Coates, but I'm actually going to go back and listen to this call again because I think there were so many one-liners in it that are like, just take it and just meditate on it for like 24 hours. This is a really, really good call. And I can say too that, like, as a team, we have to speak truth to each other in love, knowing that, like, we can't just avoid maybe the hard conversations. Like, are you being the coach you want to see in your downline? So I'm really proud of Heidi for, like, knowing herself well enough to know that she is a leader who can and does have authority to talk on this topic. Like, that makes me really excited when I see you guys stepping up in your leadership and in your belief in yourself. There's like nothing better than that. And Heidi, you, like, your business will reap the benefits of that as you showing up as a leader. So good job. All right, you guys, I'm going to end the recording and then I'll just stay on for anybody who has any questions. Okay.